Hello guys, good evening. Ito na naman po ako, si Maria Jessica Ryerson, Survival Instinct. At binabati ko kayo lahat dyan sa Pilipinas, sa Italy, sa Canada, sa Dubai, sa US at sa London, ang mga kamag-anak ko dyan sa Canada. Binabati ko kayo lahat. Yan si Darwin Makabait, Labansa, at ang mga pamangkin ko diyan sa Canada, sa US. Binabati ko kayo lahat, ang kapatid ko sa Hong Kong, si Clarissa, si Jiminy, si Jimmy Lee, at sa Pilipinas mga kapatid ko, ang mga anak ko diyan, si Carlo at si Dr. Carlo Atienza, at saka si Jose Jaime Atienza, si Crystal, the Boss, at saka yung binabati ko rin ng mga apo ko, si Jake at Atienza, si Sofia, at saka yung iba-iba pa dyan, mga pamangkin ko, uh, si JR, si Romar, si Clark na andyan ngayon sa San Carlos. Guys, binabato ko kayo lahat. Magandang gabi sa inyong lahat. At ang aking mga tagapagsubaybay sa YouTube, binabati ko kayo. Hindi ko na kayo lahat babanggitin, pero I know you know guys na I love you very much. And ito ngayon, baka hindi na ako guys makapag-live mamaya. Recording na lang ito guys para may upload ko. Kasi I don't have time to wait for 10 o'clock. It's going to be late for me. Kaya ito po, i-upload ko ito bilang kabahagi ng ating binabasa kahapon na bahagi ng Survival Instinct Chapter 5, Continuation. Okay? This is the English version guys. Tomorrow, I gonna read the Tagalog version. Tapusin ko itong chapter 5 para po matapos na natin at hindi na ako babalik. Maging chapter 6 na tayo sa sunod. Okay? I gonna finish the Tagalog version in the next few days. Okay guys, ngayon siguro na anuhan ninyo ng isang araw, yesterday that I'm working at the cockpit arena, yung sabungan ba. Kaya i-continue ko sa inyo na ang kabanata ng binasa ko kahapon, okay? This is the English version. I'm gonna read to you the Tagalog version next few days, okay? Okay guys, here I am. I move on to the dormitory university campus, living in the dormitory room. This was a brand new experience for me because it was the very first time that I didn't have to live with any of my relatives. I was somewhat timid, didn't speak much to my roommates first. Now that I live on the campus, I found it a little extra time. So I work evening at my aunt's glorious dressmaking shop and was paid in cash. On the weekend, I work at the cockfighting arena and during the derbies too, if they were on. The dorm I live, I had a curfew of 10 p.m., but sometimes I would not finish work until 3 a.m. in the morning and would be locked out. On this night, I have to climb the fire escape and sneak into my room through the window. After a month, I found another dormitory just off the campus that had later curfews. As long as I told my matron that I would be late, she'd leave the key out for me in the mailbox. I keep my job at the Sophia Spirit a secret for everyone at school because I was embarrassed by it. I wasn't proud of selling alcohol and serving men, but it was great money for me. So I let everyone at school think I work at the dress shop helping my relatives. After a couple of months operating my stall, Robin Mejia approached me and said that the men who frequently at the arena each have a bet on me to see who would win by taking me out on the date. What he told me made me sick to my stomach. I was disgusted and felt cheap. I never accepted the date from any of the scummy men and hung out at the cockfighting arena. My life was changing quickly. I was running my own business, living on my own away from my family, and I had my first boyfriend in form of Robin. He assured me that he had no urges would be to win. Once I moved into my own stool at the arena, Robin began visiting me more often. He would spend hours talking as I made the sales and after I closed the shop. He dropped me off at my dormitory. He'd sit in his car and made plan for the future. I liked him a lot, but I was scared at the time because I didn't want to get involved with any other man, with anyone. I promised my parents I would graduate from school, secure the job, and then help them support my siblings. Robin was very generous. He likes to take me out shopping and buy me sort of things. I told him I hope he didn't expect anything more from me because I wasn't ready. I wanted to preserve my virginity until I got married. He wanted to marry me, but my goal was to complete nursing and work overseas. He understood. He didn't pressure me. Ang hirap talaga guys ng mahirap, 'di ba? Kasi you working talagang nagtatrabaho ka ng matagal na oras after school. Tapos para bang tinatago mo pa yung mga ang trabaho na ginagawa mo dahil siyempre nahiya ka. Tulad sa akin, nagtatrabaho ako sa sabungan. I'm really ashamed that I'm serving, nagbibenta ako ng mga alak and also I'm serving men at the sa sabungan. Okay? After I have after I have saved money to visit my folks back in Rojas, he took me out shopping again and this time to buy presents for my family. I, however, insisted on spending my own money. I bought a little something for everyone. My grandparents, my grandparents, and my brother and sister. My visit was a success. I was overjoyed to see everyone opening his or her gift. Each of their faces was full of pure happiness. I loved the feeling I got from watching them open the gift and I had paid for and wrap. It makes me feel so proud of myself. Robin and I continued dating when I returned from my visit to Rojas. I was happy my life was going so well. I was getting very good mark at school. I was performing excellent on both swimming team and volleyball team. My business was successful. I was able to help support my family in a meaningful way. Everything was going my way, and I couldn't have been happier. When Robin showed up drunk at my dorm room one night, I went out to his car to calm him down, and he started kissing me. As soon as his hands began to roll, I stopped him and said it was not how it was going to be. Him dragged me in the back seat of his car. He pushed me away and went home to cool off. The next time I saw him, he seems normal again and was back to being his old self. There was no mention of what he tried in the car while he was drunk. On my 18th birthday, this is now guys, on my 18th birthday, October 6, 1976, Robin told me he wanted to take me and some of my friends to a disco to celebrate my 18th birthday. I agreed. and come home early from school to get myself ready to go out. I waited at the main door of the dorm for Robin to pick me up at 8 p.m. and we agreed, but he never arrived. I was so disappointed, but wasn't going to let his little wrinkle ruin my entire night. My friend and I decided to let this lit, to let to head over to the bar and restaurant across from the dormitory. We were just enjoying our first round of drinks when Roscoe showed up. My face I screwed my face up at him and said, "What are you doing here?" Robin was being delayed by business, so he asked me to pick you up and your girlfriend up and take you out at the restaurant for your birthday dinner. He will meet us afterwards. Yippee! Let's go, Sophia, my friend said. My girlfriend all responded as they finished their drinks and got ready to leave with Roscoe. Okay, I said. We're certainly dressed for the occasion. He looked me up and down and said, "You look lovely in that green dress, Sophia. I love your choice of shoes." I thanked him and left the bar. Roscoe drove us to the disco and started buying us drinks and danced with my friend and I. Additionally, I was nervous about the situation. I needed to ask him for more money for the liquor business, and I was upset that Robin was obviously not going to show up. I pretended that I wasn't bothered about Robin and wore I'm happy, drinking smile at night, but inside I was sad and embarrassed. I also wasn't used to drinking alcohol, but that evening I drank anything that was put in front of me. And Roscoe kept them coming. It didn't take me long to get quite drunk, but still remembered my curfew though, which had been extended to midnight currently. It was after 11 p.m. and I slurred that it was time for me to get home. My girlfriends were also drunk and out of their mind, but they were still up and dancing. I myself had enough fun and wanted to leave. Roscoe leaned over me and soothingly explained that he would drop me off at my Auntie Gloria's house instead, in case the dorm was closed for the night. There was accept This was acceptable for me. We stayed for one more drinks and then we left. We all left. On the way home, we dropped each of my friends until it was just Roscoe and I in the car, expecting to go to my auntie's house. I was surprised when he drove in the opposite direction. "Where are you taking me?" "I thought you were dropping me off at my auntie's house." "It's much too late. You'll disturb them. I'm taking you to the Aramis Hotel so you can sleep there and I go back to dormitory tomorrow." I didn't doubt him for the second and I agreed with his plan. "Okay, thanks." I completely trusted him. He parked the car and we got out. It was still wobbly and he helped me into the well-lit lobby. After the darkness in the car interior, my eyes needed some adjustment, so I shaded them with my hands. Suddenly, my head began to spin once my eyes were covered, and Roscoe took me by his arm to steady me. "The clerk at the hotel seems to know him," I was sure heard him say. "Your regular room, sir?" He nodded and paid cash. He still steadied me and made our way down to the hallway. I finally to the door. He unlocked it and turned the handle and using me as the buffer push to open. We entered the room and the door clicked solemnly behind us. He flicked on the low weighted lights and my purse into the nightstand. Do you like the room, Sophia? He asked. It was simple but clean, with a brown carpet, the queen-size bed, two nightstands, the full bathroom, coffee table, dresser, drawer with a TV pinch on the top. It's fine, thank you very much, I answered slowly. Second being to both alcohol and the late hour, I just wanted to sleep. I yawned, waiting for him to leave. Instead, he took off his jacket and hung it over the chair, and then waltzed over to the bed and lay on it with his hands behind his head. What are you doing? I asked, not understanding what was going on. Guys, this one, guys, it's a bit, it's a bit thing. He said, take off your clothes. What? Then he snapped, he sat on the bed and yelled, take off your clothes. And then he hit me even my drunken state. He was going to take something from me whether I wanted it or not. Well, he wasn't going to get it without any fight. I looked around and tried to come up with a plan. I said, why should I? Before I could add to my thoughts, he leant off the bed and looked at me and hung over my throat. I felt sudden surge of adrenaline flow through me and got bursts of my energy. I moved to my left and he ran directly into the locked door of the room. Smashing his head, he gave me time to scurry under a covered coffee table. I went into the fetal position and turned my head looking up through the glass. He got his bearing and stormed over to the table and leaning down as if to flip it over, instead roughly grabbed my ankle with a superhuman strength to pull me out under the table, burning my elbow on the rug as he did so. It happened so fast I didn't even have time to scream. As he pulled me out, my high heels come off, and then he dropped to my legs. Before I thought about the next move, he picked me up by the waist and threw me over to the edge of the bed, so his knees were at the lower edge. He grabbed the zipper of my dress and pulled it down. And fight me all you want, it won't make any difference, Sophia. I'm going to. Guys, I can't really read some of the stuff because it's really, it's really painful for me to, to do it. I scream as much as you like. They just might be your last words. I began to cry into the bedspread which smelled of lavender. He grabbed my dress up my shoulder and pulled it down off my body. I was sure he had mastered his move because it slid off me quickly. He undid I think all I have to do, guys, I can't really read all of it, words for words, because it's really painful for me. It means, guys, that night something happened to me and Roscoe. He forced me that night, and something happened, and I can't really read it. It is in the book. I can't read it on live on YouTube. You know, I just skipped that one. I skipped that, guys, the most sensitive part of of what happened in my life. That's really, that's really sad, but I can't read it because otherwise I can't finish it tonight. After that happened, with my body shaking, I had to get away from him. It was all I could do to roll off the bed and make my way to the bathroom, which was beautiful. Not that I could appreciate it at the moment, but only way I could get away from my rapist. I flick on the light and ran the water up the sink and pick up the baby blue washcloth. Looking at the mirror, I could see the slap mark on my face and the imprint of his hands between my breast, tight and legs. There were bites and redness in all over my body. Looking down my legs, I could see the blood covering my inner thigh, still dripping. I couldn't even imagine what the bedspread looked like. I peered into the mirror and said, "Happy birthday to me." As tears peered into the mirror said, the tears ran down my face. I got the cloth wet and hot, wring it out, wiped my face, and walked slowly back to the room. I wanted to vomit. What kind of person could ask such thing? He slapped my face. I could taste the blood. I was numb from the side of my face and my brain wanted to explode. I cried silently. I couldn't do anything except to do what I was told. Unmoved, he rolled me off of him and that I lay the stained sheets. He continued over. I had resigned myself, giving up and quit fighting. I would never let him know what if feel good or not anymore. I just give him the black stares. Finally, he fell asleep next to me and I dream about making love to Robin. I woke up and smell of coffee percolating and the sun becoming ray in my eyes. I was naked under the cover, which were full to my chin. I pray he would no longer rape me all over again. I really had enough of this. Going to the police had crossed my mind. But quickly I remember it was a man's world and they would blame me. How could I face my family? They would blame me too. I partly believe that it was my fault. I felt so dirty. I felt so bloody stupid for trusting him. I was too scared to escape. I allowed him to rape me many times. I allowed him to put the awful thing in myself. I feel badly damaged and so stupid of what happened. Maybe I deserve what I got. I was now a slut after all. I mindlessly took the coffee from him and sat in the bed, keeping my nakedness covered by the sheets. I had to admit the coffee was tasted good as I sipped at the hot drink cradled in my two hands. He spoke to me, soothing voice, as if it was my father's or something. I promise that I will take care of you. You give me very special gift, and now I really owe you. You can have whatever you want. I'll pay your tuition. I will set you up in an apartment all of your own, just you and me. What do you say that after all? I spoke very calmly. You were not given that gift. You took it from me. Please go away. I don't want to see your face ever again. I look I looked him directly in the eyes and said the words with all the looting and could muster. I hate you. Surprisingly, he didn't say a word. He opened his wallet and counted all what looked to $500, tossing it on the dresser next to the TV. He opened the door and said without turning, the money is for the food, the room, and whatever. He left and I jumped up locked the door. I went back to bed and covered myself and fell asleep to the thought of how many different ways I could slowly and painfully kill him. I spent 3 days in that room. I lost count of how many showers I took trying to wash his flow stretched from my body, but the third day my wounds were beginning to heal and not as obvious. I could cover the marks of my face with my makeup. I was surprised that no one else came looking for me, but then I suppose how would they know even where I were to begin to look. At 11 a.m. on the third day, I got dressed with the exception of my underwear, which I put in the trash. I stood in the lobby. I could feel the cold air from the fan going up at my body. I was surprised. I was definitely changed woman. It was he instructed me to do. The clerk smiled and took care of the paperwork. I took the cab back to the dormitory and dove back into my studies. 6 hours later, there was a knock on the door in my room. I got up and opened it. It was stood Roscoe with a banquet of roses and let him in and returned to my seat at my desk. He closed the door and without missing a beat, he said, have you thought about what I've said? I will take care of you. I really meant it. I pay for your classes and place you could call your own. Anything you like, I give it to you. I roll my eyes in slash my chair. You're taking everything from me. There is nothing you can give me that I want. Just pissed off. I stared at my open textbook. I wanted my life to be normal again. Go back to how it was before and jerkily literally come into my life. I decided at that moment that I was going to do whatever it took to survive and get what I needed, even if it meant that I have to be with Roscoe. He remained in place with that roses waiting for my answer. It was the longest time that he had kept his lousy mouth shut. I was dully impressed. I turned and looked at him. Anything I want? I told him. He looked like he might jump out to his skin, and his eyes became animated. Yes, I will take care of you. I clicked my pen a couple of times and looking at my book and said, fine. Roscoe moved me into another dormitory so I can avoid people I used to live with. I share room with a girl who knew nothing of my past. Roscoe paid for every expense I had and bought me gift as well. Since all my bills were paid, I was able to send my family pretty well all the money I earned, including tips. They were overjoyed with how I was able to help, and I didn't ask me how. It makes me sick to be with him, but at least I could go to school and for the first time not have to worry about money. In fact, I had extra money, which I foolishly blew on cigarettes and alcohol. It is my personal pain for just a little. See, guy, this is the one that I start drinking and smoking, when I was, after what happened to me. I continued to go on with my life, but as if nothing had changed. I went to my classes during the day and worked at my aunt's dress shop in the evening. After the incidents, I worked at the liquor outlet one last time, and Roscoe and I sold every bottle during the big day sale. I was I was done with those memories, including the cockfighting arena. Robin was there the day of the final sale and couldn't understand why I would not see him anymore. I thought it was because he did not show up on my birthday, I replied. No, it was not. It was much bigger than that. However, in hindsight, if he had shown up that evening, his oldest brother probably would not have gotten a hold of me. Not that time at least. 2 weeks later, Robin showed up at the end of the school day. On Friday afternoon, I allowed him to take me out for dinner at the local hotel. It was a very nice meal, and we each had several glasses of wine. Over dinner, he insisted to know why I refused to see him. I needed to have a private conversation with him, so I asked that he get us a room. He remained calm and did what I asked. After our meal was finished, we went directly to the hotel suite. Once we were in, the door was locked. He left me standing near the bed. He went into the bathroom and had a shower. I naked. When he came out of the shower wearing only a white towel, finally I broke and cried. He took me in his arm and hugged me, whispering in my ears, "What's wrong, Sophia? Please, for God's sake, tell me." Between the sob and muttered, "No, I just can't." "Why are you shaking, my love?" he asked. I pulled my head back, looking into the beautiful eyes, and said, "Your brother had ruined my life forever." How? It was obvious he had no clue. On my birthday, when you didn't show up, he took your place. He got me drunk, and we kid away to the hotel. It was in a room where he took something from me. I was saving especially it for you. Robin began to cry and nestled my face with his naked shoulder and neck. He smelled so good, so fresh, it was reassuring. He asked for my hands of marriage. As we stood there at the end of the bed, I wept and I explained to him that there was no more future for us. He held me for what seems like an eternity, and the last time we kissed, I feel his love through his lips and the quivering body. We got dressed and left the room, never even sitting on the bed. A week later, when I had explained to Roscoe how I was pregnant with his rape baby, he automatically demanded that I have an abortion. He threatened me to have me killed if he told his wife or went to the police. I was 18 years old and absolutely no one to turn to in the in the metropolis of Manila. I couldn't tell my parents. There was a shame in that. I was terrified of my life and went along with this decision. One day of the procedure, I picked me up on my dormitory and went to the ride at the clinic without the second thoughts. Guys, I have to do it until here, and I'm gonna read to you the continuation again because I can't read no more. Okay, I'm really sorry, guys. My back is sore, and I feel so bad about reading this. Okay, guys, and thank you very much, guys, and I read to you again later on. Okay, and I love you very much, and I'm really sorry I can't really finish the book. I can't finish reading it because it's really hard for me to read what I wrote, before. And thank you very much for listening, and I'll see you again soon. Okay, thank you, guys. Okay, bye bye. I love you.